Good afternoon and welcome to the news. It is Sunday the 30th. It is the 30th of July 2017. The footage you're seeing is from one of my live streams this week. Maybe not this week, maybe last week. Rodina, we'll put Rodina on there. I had no news last week. I was at CoxCon last week. Had a wonderful time. I met so many of you. God damn, there was lines, hours, literal hours and hours people queued to meet me. I had a really good time. Thank you, everybody who came out, everybody who ran it. If you were there, you noticed that I was quite high energy and having a good time, especially during like the photo shoots and stuff. Me and Jesse were just basically just doing stupid poses with everyone. It was really fun. I had a huge, seriously fun time. And doing the panel at the end, the Jackbox panel, making a whole room of people fall about laughing is a wonderful feeling. It's not something I'm used to. Normally I do a good joke and then I'm like, ha ha, to myself. And then it's just quiet in the room and then one of the petals falls out of the rose that I have in the jar. No, that's Beauty and the Beast. What the fuck am I talking about? I don't know. Let's get down to the news. We're going to start with the fact that Valve have taken House Party off of Steam. House Party was that game what I played a few weeks ago. Maybe just a week ago. The one where you go to a house party and you can whip your dick out at any point and flash it around and... It's an odd one. There's a lot of stuff. I did two videos for that. I did the video that you saw, and then I did a second one just in case that one didn't quite work. Because I wanted to bring a lot of awkward and weirdness to it, because I'm doing that at the moment. I like these YouTuber bait games, because I get to play them in a very different way to everyone else. Because everyone else just play it, and then they leave. And I'm like, yeah, let's get existential for a while. Or read poetry, or the fuck I did in the Hand Simulator video. Is that out yet? I don't know. But yeah... So that's been taken off of Steam in a bizarre sense of stuff. So let's talk about the game itself. It is a trash game. It's just a whole bunch of Unity assets thrown together. Voice acting was surprisingly good. But it is sort of just thrown together. It's a porn game. The developer says it's not a porn game, and I find that very interesting. There's a whole blog post this guy's done. Steam basically took the game down because it included pornography. Now... Steam have always said, we don't want to touch the store. We're not going to touch the store. Anything can go on the store. We'll leave the store alone. And no, don't put porn on there. Ah! Well, hatred, yes, come on the store. Oh, merciless killing and violence, brilliant. But porn, no boops. I still find that quite weird. I'm not going to get into that right now. But yeah, it was totally a porn game. Like, I played it, I was like, that's why I didn't put the second one up, because I got a lot further into it. And I thought it was building, and here's a lack of a better word moment, to a much more entertaining climax. But it doesn't. There's no payoff. There's nothing at the end of the quests. There's just a minute of humping a model and then splurge and then done. And I felt like... I don't know. To me... I'm going to quote from what the developer's blog post. He says, I explained to them, he's talking to Steam about the fact they said it's pornographic, etc. I explained to them that I didn't consider the game pornographic as it's not intended to titillate, but rather is intended to be a humorous and quirky game. Most of the gameplay revolves around solving puzzles and humorous dialogues. But the fact is, the humour fucks off as soon as you get them naked. Because as soon as you get someone naked, then it's just, oh, they're naked, oh, look at them, and then bang them, and then... splurge vigorously onto them and all that. There's no punchline or payoff to any of the bit. He keeps calling. Right, where was the actual fucking quote? Because I want to get this right. I'm looking for the exact thing. There it is. The game is meant to be funny, and I advertise it as a raunchy comedy adventure. Now, when I hear the phrase raunchy comedy adventure, I don't imagine just plowing some drunk chick at a house party. That's not just having everything on display. To me, that's not raunchy comedy adventure. That's just pornography. I mean, when I think of raunchy comedy adventure, I imagine Barbara Windsor like lifting her thing up and her bra flies off and Kenneth Williams goes, and you know, it's that to me, I am 1,000 years old, but that to me is what raunchy comedy adventure. If I was like, oh, let's watch a raunchy comedy adventure, Kenneth Williams has to be in it. Like, that's the rule. That's the rule. It's not going to be just pure. It was porn. It's a porn game. It builds. It may be funny and quirky and have all these characters and be a little bit self-aware, and it feels for the most part like an old 1980s frat movie. You know, it's got that sort of feel, like a sort of made for teenagers 1980s frat film. That's what it feels like to me. But instead of it like leading into hilarious things and climbing up a ladder, oh there's some tits, oh he's fallen off the ladder, hilarious. It's like climbing up ladder, oh there's some tits, let's fuck her, and you just you know what? Up until like 80% through every quest, you're right. It's a raunchy comedy adventure, and then it's pornography. And I feel like, I mean, the great quote of this thing is, the amount of on-screen sex and nudity is very small in comparison to the rest of the gameplay. Oh, most pornographic films have very little. There's quite a lot of, oh, the pizza's here, and all the delivery mans come at the same time. Oh, the doorway's narrow, and they have to fight to the death with their penises to get through, and the greasy oiled men are there, and the football team come in, and... What was I saying? Anyway, it's a lot of baby oil. Yeah. It feels weird that the whole point of this is that it's a porn game. Because it's a porn. I'm sorry to the developer, but it's a porn game. It's totally, like, I don't know why it's not. Like, if it was like, you know, play yakety sax while you're banging them, maybe I'd change your mind. But it's kind of just... How old am I? Benny Hill, there's a raunchy comedy film. You know, all those 80s frat films, if you rewatch them, it's just, you're just like, the phrase product of its time comes to mind. Which is never an excuse, but it's always a bit of a thing. So yeah, you know what? There's always this issues with games like this, is they always come across as quite abusey, because they sort of are. You get the thing drunk, get tits as a reward, women as a reward, breasts and things. Why don't you make these games and frame them as pornography? In the context. Don't be like, you're going to a house party, gonna bang some things. Be like, this is a pornography where you go to a house party and bang some things. Extra framing might make it less weird. I don't know. I've spent the last 7.5 minutes talking about porn games. Yeah, I think they should. I don't know. People are like, you should be on Steam. I literally saw somebody like, children use Steam. How dare they have the I swear they're locked away. And if not, I think like if Steam had an adults only section, like a little for the porn game thing that you have to have an account with a credit card on or whatever to get into, I think that would be fine, because then you can get them off a nice safe thing of Steam. I think most people wouldn't complain. The people who are actually looking for them wouldn't really mind, and it gives a lot of publicity, that sort of thing. And you could have an option, turn them on or off in your store or whatever. Default off. There. Steam can now have a whole bunch of porn games on it and can't be like, oh, the children. Because the issue, of course, is that you can have your Steam wallet thing, couldn't you? You can get a Steam wallet thing. But, of course, if I said, like I said, get a credit card on there, which incidentally, I think actually is the current plan for the UK government to access any pornographic website. So, yeah, there's a. I think we're gonna have sex games. They're there, and I think they're coming more into the mainstream again, for lack of a better word. But they are. They're definitely coming, and that's great. We need to have these things because, honestly, I'm a bit done with violence. Like, every fucking AAA game that comes out has got fucking violence in it. If it's not sports, it's violence. Even fucking some of the sports games feature violence these days. Fucking, it's like Need for Speed. What's that? It's a car racing game. Why is there a man running and holding a gun? Ah, this is video games. You know, we've got a lot of violence. Just throw some titties in there. Some titties in there, because some people want that shit. And then, of course, you know, the better, more open you make it, then the better the games will get. Win-win for everyone, really. But of course, America does weird things, and they have different. You can see like the insides of someone splat against a wall, but the outside of someone, Jesus will cry. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Yeah. I like, actually, I've just realised, I'm reading the guy's blog post again in the background, and he actually just says that it's a fucking great quote. I decided that instead of being gratuitous with violence, I would be gratuitous with sex and nudity. That's porn, mate. Because I thought more games like that should exist. You don't need to hide that the porn games exist. We don't need to hide that away. I mean, that was Newgrounds' business model for years. No, I think we need these games to be made. I'm not going to be going, no, I just feel like they need to be made. And better. And if you frame them as pornography, like I've been saying, then that's gonna that bit there is gonna lead to some fucking interesting discussions. It's like, well, that game's a bit dodgy. But it's framed like this. I don't actually know how to feel about that thing. Because I don't. There's some shit that I've been saying today that I've just said, and I've gone, well, that might be interesting. I feel like I've left a lot of discussion on this, which definitely won't happen anywhere. And we won't grow, and nothing matters. What the fuck kind of moon am I in today? I don't know. To be perfectly honest, as soon as I finished that game, I uninstalled it instantly. It was like, that was a piece of shit. But, yeah. Sorry, just the idea. Okay, right. There's a bit in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm just going to jump over a second. We'll be back in a second. That kind of creeps me out a little bit. And it's the cow that wants to be Eden. If you never read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they go to the restaurant at the end of the universe, and a cow comes up to the table, or a cow-like creature, and suggests the body parts of it that are most tender and lovely because it wants to be eaten. And Arthur Dent is incredibly freaked out by this, because he's like, I don't want to eat a cow that wants to be eaten. And they're like, well, you want to eat a cow that doesn't want to be eaten. And I feel like... I feel like starting a game up like that, like your house party ever, with a lineup of all the NPC characters going, I consent that things are going to happen, like is in pornography these days, as my wife tells me. Could you imagine just having a lineup of NPCs going, I consent to this, and everyone's like, no, it's okay that you program them to say that thing? But to me, in my head, that just linked in with a cow that wants to be in. It's like, oh, why don't we treat it like this thing? But does that make it weirder? Would that make it weirder that the NPCs at the start would be like, I want this to happen to me, but you're an NPC, you don't have to say this. You're programmed to say this. And cows wanting to be eaten. I just realized that linked in a horrible way. Let's stop talking about this video, because I might as well get it over and done with now, because it's not going to be fucking monetized, is it? Anyway, yeah, so that game is, it's a bit grubby. It's fucking misogynistic bullshit, like, but most pornography kind of is, and it's, and there's some good shit. We need better. The problem is, if, it's going, this thing, and you can't do this thing, means that the good stuff never appears. We have to work with that. That's my issue, right? That's my issue. There we go. I finally worked out how to coherently put my issue in. Anytime there is a weird fuck up about censorship or whatever the fuck people want to do it, anytime there is a thing like this, it's always about a shit game. It's never about a good game. It's always House Party or Hatred. It's never like fucking good shit. It's not like Assassin's Creed, you know? It's not... Ugh. We always have to argue these things in the shittest battlefields known to man. Or it's a bullshit one like, oh, San Andreas hot coffee thing. Oh shit, how do you get that? Well, you need to hack the game open on PS2. Well, no one's gonna fucking do that, so fuck off, mate. One day, a really great game's gonna come out, and we're gonna have a controversy about it, and we're all gonna go, oh, we're gonna do this from like this from now on. But until then, these discussions are gonna be about weird, grubby, strange games that aren't particularly pleasant. But kind of should exist, but maybe need to step back a little bit and think about things. If you don't know whose side I am in this argument, it's because I don't know. I feel this is just a messy situation, and so I've got ideas for everybody. It's currently 9:59 AM, and I haven't slept yet. Let's get on with the rest of the news. Speaking of Rockstar and Ubisoft in this one, this is just... I'm putting this on in here because it literally... This headline made me laugh for like a good 5 minutes straight. This is my favourite headline of 2017 so far, because it just sounds... You laugh inside, but you also feel... You just feel a little bit sad. Just a little bit sad for someone. I'm going to read this headline out to you now. Ubisoft happy Red Dead Redemption 2 got delayed. A genuine headline, which I absolutely love. Apparently the chief financial officer of Ubisoft said that, yeah, the fact that Red Dead Redemption 2 has been delayed means that the stuff that we got coming out that time is going to be much better. Hooray! Because, as we know, Rockstar Games are juggernauts that plow through and get huge sales and stuff. But I love the game to delay, and Ubisoft's like, it's like winning the shittest battle. Anyway, fuck that. This headline just entertained me. Here's another great headline. It's been a really weird week. Also, I'm so tired. I'm sorry. I'm wittering. We'll get through it. John Romero finally reveals who the original Doom guy really is. That's right. I didn't even know that was a mystery. But apparently it is. So John Romero has revealed that the guy on the cover of the Doom thing is John Romero himself. And here is one of the best quotes of all time. Apparently they had a model in and he wasn't doing it right. And this is... just the opening this. This is John Romero. John Romero. It's so good. John Romero... This opening line is so funny. I'm just going to get through it. This is an actual quote from John Romero. Frustrated, I threw my shirt off. It's the most John Romero line I've ever heard. Just imagine being like, just rip. But yeah, it's John Romero. The model didn't do it right, so John Romero did it properly. I have two more questions. Or one question, really, and one thing that I literally didn't notice until this was a thing. Who's the Doom guy in the background running, going, no? I want to know who that guy is. But the most important thing, and I didn't know this, so the front cover of Doom is the Doom guy, all the demons, and the Doom guy is firing two guns into the crowd of guys. And that's what I've always seen. And that's not what the cover is. He's firing one gun, and the other hand's being grabbed with him, like, going, and there's, like, a fireball being fired from behind him. I always thought he was firing two guns, but he's not. The fireball's just in the right place. I didn't know what the cover of Doom was until today. And I find that very strange. Anyway, let's carry on. We're going to get to the obituaries in a second, because there's been two big ones, possibly three. Planet Coaster's had an update, very quickly. An update. It's had its first DLC. It's got 3 bits of $1.99 DLC, so £6 for the lot of it. And it adds Back to the Future, Knight Rider, and the Munsters rides, scenery, and theming to the game. Now, being a very, very, very large Back to the Future fan, that is a magical thing. And you know what? £2, throw a new ride in your park and get a DeLorean. I'm down with that. I'm not super into the Munsters or Knight Rider. I got them to show them off on the stream a while back. But actually, you know what? That's a pretty cool thing to have. You get the nice Back to the Future logo. And if you're watching the live streams I do, I've actually built a Back to the Future ride. I want to get a nice clock tower for it. But it's got, like, new special effects and stuff. And it's a nice little bit of extra DLC. If that's what they're going to do with their DLC, lots of little interesting bits, I think I'm going to be okay with that. I was worried they're going to do lots of big, expensive stuff. But it looks like a lot of their big updates have been free so far. So maybe if they do little bits like this, for the extra bits that you may not particularly, you don't care about the monsters or whatever, you don't need to get, but then have the bigger, nicer, shinier stuff for free. But I don't know, I just thought that was a neat little bit of DLC, and the rides are pretty cool. And you can ride them. You can drive the little cars around yourself, sort of. Now, we need to talk about one of the bigger... one of the bigger, more beautiful things. Actually, there were 3 things going on at the same time over last weekend. There was CoxCon, where I was, had a wonderful time. There was San Diego Comic-Con, I believe it was San Diego Comic-Con. It was New York. It was the Comic-Con, whatever, it was Comic-Con. The Stargate panel revealing a brand new Stargate series, or like a Stargate mini-series of 10-minute parts. Stargate Origins, excited, love a bit of Stargate. I don't think anything else really came out of that, apart from 1,000 trailers for things. Thor looks fucking amazing, the new Thor. Anything else? I don't know. And the third one, the third convention that was going on, and we're going to talk about it now, Pokemon Go Fest. Oh boy. So, Pokemon Go Fest, which was just a nightmare. An absolute script. Basically, a lot of people who super really loved Pokemon all went to a park where all the everything dropped. The servers, the Wi-Fi connection, it all just absolutely collapsed completely. And they were basically going, you can get legendary Pokemon now, but they couldn't because the whole thing just shat apart. I mean, if you're doing a thing about a wireless thing, maybe, and you got like, I think it was like 20,000 people, I think I read. Probably, maybe. Just bring extra, plan for that shit. You know, plan for the fact that there's a shit ton of people are going to be trying to access your servers on the internet. Because that's going to be a problem otherwise. But yeah, I mean, like, the head of Niantic went on... Niantic? Yeah, that's right. The head of Niantic? It sounds wrong. Oh well. Went on stage and got booed to absolute shit. And it was an absolute fucking disaster. And everybody had to get their money back. But it kind of just feels like Pokemon Go to me. That kind of just feels like... that sort of things. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Pokemon Go. They've now added legendary Pokemon to it, which you have to get in raids. So you have to have lots of friends in an area where there's a raid, and then you can get yourself a legendary Pokemon. Now, some people have issue with that because everybody that I've seen who still plays Pokemon Go now has an Articuno and a Luigi. Fuck it, it's Luigi. Luigi and Ho-Ho. Or Peach, if she's better known. No, Luigi... no, wait, fuck, Luigi's got the other one. What's her name? Princess Steve, whatever. Yeah, Lugia and Articuno. Everyone's got now. And a lot of people are complaining that we were waiting ages for legendary Pokemon, and now just every fucker has one. I live in the sticks. I live in the middle of fucking nowhere, so I haven't seen a fucking Pokemon and Pokemon Go. I turn it on, I'm like, oh, that sounds exciting. And there's nothing there. I haven't seen a Pokemon in Pokemon Go for 1,000 years. I wasn't even any at CoxCon. I think there was like a raid going on, was a bit busy. Ah, well, I didn't bother to get it. There's like a legendary Pokemon outside, and I'm like, nah, I don't give a shit. There's still no trainer battles, there's no trading, there's a lot of shit that's just still missing a year on, because that was like their Pokemon Go Fest was their 1 year celebration. Kind of went a bit shitty. So, yeah, Pokemon Go still exists, some people still play it. It's still, it's still making huge bank for them. I just kind of still feel like it's just a big missed opportunity, really. Anyway, yeah, that was hilarious. Right, now we're going to get into some less hilarious stuff. We've got some obituaries to get through, because Microsoft are killing Microsoft Paint. You know, that tool that you only use to crop things and rotate them? Yeah, they're killing off Microsoft Paint and replacing it with the apparently terrible Paint 3D. I believe after the outrage of this, they'll probably end up just putting Microsoft Paint in the App Store as a separate little thing. But yeah, it looks like they're finally, after 32 years, killing off Microsoft Paint. I mean, back when I first got a little computer... Sorry, I'm genuinely very tired. Back when I first got a computer, it was a toy. It was an entertaining game. I mean, I distinctly remember drawing pictures, probably with Dragon Ball Z characters knowing me, and to get orange, having to alternate between red and yellow individual pixels to get an orange color overall. I learned a lot about color mixing and stuff through Paint. It's a great little tool. A lot of people stopped using it after they added the ribbon, but the same could be said about everything, because that ribbon is literally the worst thing. I hate the ribbon. I hate you, Microsoft, adding the ribbon. But yeah, it's going to get killed off. It's going to be thrown away, and it's older than me, Microsoft Paint, goddamn. But not much. It's been around since Windows 1 as well. The world's most popular operating system, Windows 1. But yeah, apparently Paint 3D, which looks terrible, is going to be replacing it. It just looks like a messy, horrible, modern UI piece of garbage. It's sad. It's a sad day. I still miss when they killed off Microsoft Bob. What a piece of that was. And the second obituary we have, excluding the fact that pretty much every country is gone, we're getting rid of petrocars by 2040. That's just interesting. I don't think any country's ready for that, but I also think it's a bit late for that, so... interesting mix. Adobe are killing off the Flash Player plugin in 2020. So 3 years, 2.5 years, we're going to lose the Flash Player plugin. And that's going to be really interesting. Because there are so many fucking great games that I only have access to online. And they're going to... And they're like, think of the games that became proper full games because they started with Flash. Like N... The original N, the completely free thing, is wonderful. And other Line Rider. Maybe there's not that many. But yeah, like, I kind of feel sad about that. I hope that there's still a way of playing these games. I kind of don't want this big chunk of gaming to die. It would genuinely be quite sad if we lost access to all of those Flash games. I hope there is a way of getting them to work in something else. But we'll see. That could be there in a couple of years. We might have a very sad day where we lose all of those Flash games. Especially all of those poor Newgrounds Flash porn games. Oh boy, there were a few of them, weren't there? It was very interesting though. So it was like, do this thing. Here's some tits I drew. Oh, okay. Bye now. Anyway, final bit of news, and this is my interesting / good / and now for something completely happy. American Truck Simulator is closing Highway 1 due to a real-world landslide. In California, a road has been closed down because of a landslide. The landslide has taken this whole road out. So American Truck Simulator is duplicating that, adding a new road replacement in, and blocking that road off in the game. How fucking cool is that? That's a seriously cool thing. I wonder if they could automate that at some point. Like, actually have, like, just grab the information from network or something, and then squish out the game. Or even, like, because Google do traffic maps and things. Imagine if they could get that data and then have higher traffic, and you could play, like, in real time in the sort of levels of traffic that currently exist in those areas. And if there is an accident, you're locked in that accident. Probably at that point, you should probably just go outside. Anyway, this was a weird one. I'm very, very sorry. I'm genuinely incredibly tired. But I need to get this shit done. I think the sexy highlight of this was John Romero taking his shirt off. Never not be funny. Yeah, anyway, that's the news. You may all go now and do something else. Like, go to the comments and yell at each other, or maybe do some art. Write a poem and send it to me on Twitter. Write a Twitter poem and send it to me. And make it about Stargate.